Now we'll see now we'll see some of the important results related to abelian group. So you know what is abelian group, right? Please recall. Abelian group is nothing but it's a group where a star b equal to b star a for every two elements, correct? Now let us use that fact so many times to prove lot of results. So here result number 1, if G is an abelian group, then for every two elements belongs to that group, ab whole power n equal to a power n b power n. Why it is true we will see. Remember one thing, from now onwards whenever I write a power 1, that is a, okay? Actually a square is nothing but a star a. So sometimes what I do is I skip this operator star, I write a, okay? Both are same. If I write a, otherwise a star a, both are same. That is nothing but a square. Similarly a cube is nothing but a star a. From now onwards I don't use sometimes star, so that is implicit, it is a, okay? That is a power 3. So in that way we can define any a power n, correct? Now what is ab whole power n? It is nothing but writing ab. So ab means a star b. How many times? N times. Let me write it. ab n times. So here you see, let me focus on the first two elements, ab followed by ab whole power n minus 2. Okay. Now you see, we know that it is abelian group, then b into a equal to a into b, correct? Then I can write a into b and b followed by ab whole power n minus 2. So it would become a square b square into ab whole power n minus 2, correct? Okay, same thing again. So let us take ab whole power n minus 2. In that we take ab into ab square, correct? Followed by, it is simple, write ab how many times? N minus 2 times. ab how many times? Let me write ab in that way, n minus 2 times. Again let us take this pair. So this can be written as ab into ab is nothing but a square b square, correct? Followed by ab whole power n minus 4. That's it. So now it would become a square b square into ab whole power n minus 4, correct? Now what we can do is, b square is an element, that's it. Sir, what is b square? B square is nothing but b star b. But b star b is some element, let us say x, correct? A square is another element, let's say y. X star y is nothing but y star x. That's why I can write here a square a square always a square b square followed by b square ab whole power n minus 4. So then it would become a power 4 b power 4 followed by ab whole power n minus 4. In that way eventually, see this, you understand the process. So eventually we can entirely convert it to a power n b power n if you continue this procedure, correct? So this is about this result, right? Remember from now onwards ab whole power n is always a power n b power n. So to get some confidence, what we do is, so let us do it for ab whole cube so that you can understand the overall process. So what is ab whole cube? We have to prove that a cube b cube, okay? So here remember, I am not doing any multiplication or anything, we are applying that operator star. So if you have any doubt, then you can assume like this also, a star b whole cube, we have to prove that a cube star b cube, that's a thing, okay? Now write a star b. What is the meaning of a star b whole cube? A star b is an element, correct? When you apply star between two elements, you get another element, whatever may be that element, I don't know. So but that element I have to write how many times? 3 times. A star b, a star b, a star b, and we have to apply star between them. That is what a star b power 3, correct? So now you see, but b star a is nothing but a star b, correct? This is the way we are doing actually. So again b star a is nothing but a star b followed by star b. Now you see, this would become a star a square star b star a. I can write a star b star b star b. We are simply sending b's this side. It would become a cube, a square star a cube. Sir, why a square star a cube? Simple. What is the meaning of a square? Writing a star a, correct? Star a. Whenever I write a 3 times and apply star, that is a power 3. Already that is a definition of a power 3, correct? So that's why it would become a cube star b cube. That's it. So finally a star b whole cube is nothing but a cube star b cube. This is done. Now we will see the second one. Okay. Now we'll see one more example. If G is a group such that AB whole square equal to A square B square, then G is abelian. So here given thing is AB power 2 equal to A power 2 B power 2. To be proved is G is abelian. That means our target is AB equal to BA. Let us do that. Let us take that one first. AB whole square equal to A power 2 B power 2. So AB whole square is nothing but AB equal to A power 2 B power 2. Here what I do is I will try to apply cancellation. So AB equal to A square is nothing but A B, correct? Okay. Now see, I can cancel this A versus A because in group left cancellation holds good and it is given that G is a group. Otherwise we can't do that. Next B right cancellation holds good. So you get BA equal to AB for any two elements. That means it is abelian, correct? So finally we realize that in a group, whenever AB whole square equal to A square B square, definitely that is an abelian group, right? So this is second statement. Now we'll see statement 3. In any finite group, remember finite group G, there exists n greater than or equal to 1 such that A power n equal to E. Why it happens like that? We will see. First of all, finite group. So to understand finite group, you should understand finite set. Finite set is a set whose cardinality, otherwise whose size is some natural number, remember, okay, some natural number. Example, you have set of this set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a finite set. Why? What is size of A? Which is 5, which is some natural number, correct? Similarly, set of people in our country 100 crores, let's say, otherwise 120 crores. So that is a natural number. That means the set of people in this country is a finite set. That means that is a finite set. Similarly, all the people in the world is finite. Now what is infinite? Sometimes to measure the size of some set, we cannot use natural number. Example, let's say even numbers, all positive even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, so on. They are not 10, they are not 20, they are not 100, they are not crore, right? It's more than that. So no natural number is sufficient to measure the number of even numbers. That's why mod E cannot be any natural number. So that is infinite set. Now finite group is nothing but it's a group whose set, example, let's say whenever G is a finite group, first G is a finite set. Okay, you know G is a set, right? It's a finite set which is a group, correct? That means it's a group with finite set. Now the question is, in the finite group there exists n greater than or equal to 1 so that A power n equal to E. Why it happens, we'll see. You know that operation, let us try to apply that operation. So A power 1, A square means A star A. Okay, so A power 3 equal to A star A. Okay, so let's say we keep on applying that one. So what is my wish is, if I apply A power k, suddenly I wish that E comes. If E comes, then we are correct. But how can you say that E doesn't come? If E doesn't come, let's say the elements in the group are finite, right? Let's call them E, A, B, C, so on. Okay, but they are limited. That means they are finite. So A power 1 is A, that is, let's say, not E. Okay, then A square is A star A, let's say that is not E, then it's supposed to be B, correct? So A cube is, let's say, A star A, then let's say that is C. Now what can happen is, if you apply this process, you may repeat a number, correct? A symbol, correct? Sir, why I repeat? Because you have finite numbers. When you have finite symbols, when I apply this operation, every time you cannot place a different symbol because you have finite, correct? Example, let's say you have 100 symbols, then I apply A power 2, A power 3 up to A power 500, then definitely you will repeat the symbols. That's obvious, correct? Then let us say A power I is B, okay? Again A power J is B. So why you are repeating? Because you have only finite numbers or finite symbols, you have to repeat. Okay, so that is obvious. Now if A power I equal to B, A power J equal to B, then let us apply this one, A power J minus I. What is A power J minus I will tell you. So can I say one thing? A power I, here A power J is B, A power I is B, where J greater than I. Okay, that means it's a bigger number than this one. because out of these two, one will be bigger, correct? They cannot be equal. If they are equal, then I don't take them, correct? So I am taking two different powers so that a power I equal to b, a power j equal to b. Now, if j greater than I, just for simplicity, then what we can do is, if a power j, can I write a power j as a power j minus I into a power I? Yes, we can write like this, correct? So try to understand this point. A power j minus I into a power I. Simple. We are writing a j minus I times followed by I times. Overall j minus I plus I times. So that would become a power I. We know the story of a power I. Is it not equal to a power I? Yes. But what is a power I already? B, correct? So a power j minus I star a power I is b equal to a power I. What is a power I? B. Now you know right cancellation, correct? B can be written as b star e. Any wrong in this? No. Then otherwise we write e star b. I'll tell you why. So that I can apply right cancellation. So a power j minus I equal to e. Remember it. A power j minus I equal to e. What is j minus I? J greater than I, already you know, right? So j minus I is greater than 1. J minus I greater than 0. Remember, sir, why j minus I greater than 0? This kind of things, what you have to do is you have to imagine and you have to understand. Example, j greater than I, will imagine with example, j5, I4. Then 5 minus 4 is what? 1, which is greater than 0. So why always greater than 0? Why not greater than or equal to 0? J minus I greater than or equal to 0 means there is a case that j equal to I, but there is no chance. Then always j minus I should be greater than 0 because j is bigger than I, correct? So finally we have found a case where a power j minus I equal to e. But what is j minus I? Some number, let us say n, which is greater than or equal to 1, correct? Yes, finally we got a number so that a power n equal to e, where n is nothing but, for good imagination, that is actually j minus I, correct? Yes. Now here I ask some fundamental questions so that you can easily understand this theorem. So what is that? Sir, why you have taken a power I equal to b, a power j equal to b? Because there is I wanted to say that there is a repetition of symbols. Why repetition of symbols, sir? If you apply continuously this power, symbol should be repeated because we have only finite numbers. Every time if you place a different number, after some time they will be repeated. Sir, I do one thing. I don't apply every time different symbol. I will give some repetition. That's what. That's why either you have to write all the different symbols, otherwise you have to repeat. That's what I am saying. Because you have finite numbers or symbols, you cannot, every time you cannot place a different symbol. So after some time there will be a repetition. So that repetition is here, let's say. Then a power j minus I is nothing but e. That's why from now onwards in a finite group, it is all because of finiteness. If it is infiniteness, that means if group is infinite, what I can do is, you cannot argue like this. Why? I will show you. You are telling that some symbol should be repeated, right? That won't happen. Example, you have infinite numbers. Let us, for easy understanding, we assume that they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. Okay. Now you have taken 2. So 2 power 1 is 2. 2 square can be, let's say, 4. 2 cube is 8. 2 power 4 equal to 16. Then you never get e, right? So you might not get e because every time we can get a different number. But in finite group that is not possible because we have only finite number of elements. Here we have infinite, then I can place every time a different number. That's the difference between finiteness and infinite. That's why only for finite groups this holds good. Okay. Now in one line, what is that? If you have a finite group, take any symbol a. So always we can write identity element as some a power n, where n greater than or equal to 1. Sir, why are you stressing that n greater than or equal to 1? Because obviously a power 0, which we did not discuss, right? Now this is the time to discuss what is a power 0. Remember, a power 0 is actually defined as e. Okay, that's a definition. Remember, I have forgotten to tell you, but I am telling now. From now onwards, a power 0, that means writing a symbol a 0 times is treated as e, because I don't have any intuition to say what is a power 0, correct? What is a power 0 generally? What is a power 1? I can explain. Writing a 1 time. What is a square? Writing a 2 times and applying the operator. But what is a power 0? Writing a 0 times, see I am doing here, and applying the operator. Then what is the result? We don't know, right? So that because there is a confusion, that is defined like this, e. From now onwards, that's fine. When you have a power 0, that is simply e. Okay. Now, for obviously for any element a power 0 is e, then there is nothing fun in proving this one, correct? If n greater than or equal to 0. That's why, however, for 0 it is obviously true. Other than 0, is it possible to get e back if I apply a power some n? Yes. So in finite group always we can have some n such that a power n equal to e is the story. Sometimes we will have lengthy discussions, don't worry. If you don't allow me to have a lengthy discussion, how can I teach everything, correct? That's fine. Don't expect me to teach everything in a lucid way and in a crispy way. So if I do that, I have to ignore some of the details, correct? I want to give all my knowledge to you. Sometimes I will be repeating the things and I will be I can say I will be giving lengthy expressions and everything. Okay, fine. This is about result 3. Now we will go for result 4. We will see 2 more results. One is if G is a group, here G is a group, G has 3 elements, it must be abelian. If G has 4 elements, it must be abelian. Finally, if G is a group, if it has either 3 elements or 4 elements, then definitely it is abelian. Why, sir? We have to prove it. First, take the first one. If G has 3 elements, call them E, A, B. Then why it is abelian, we see. First of all, to prove that it is abelian, I do like this. I take every 2 elements, x, y, I apply x star y and I prove that x star y equal to y star x. If I do that, that means what? It is abelian, correct? So, because there are only 3 elements, I can give a try. And one more thing. I don't need to check a combination versus E and any something. Why, sir? Because obviously E star x equal to x star equal E equal to x, correct? That is the definition of identity element. That's why. So commutative rule need not to be checked for identity element. Now what is the other combination now? Only A, B. So only check for A star B. So we have to prove that A star B equal to B star A. Let us remember it. This is to be proved. So what I do is, that's why I take A star B first. So A star B is one element, correct? It can be either E or A or B. Case number 1, we assume that E star B equal to A star B equal to E. Because when you apply a star between 2 elements of the group, because group is closed under a star, then you get the elements of the group. That's why if A star B equal to E, what I can do is A star B equal to, I write A star E first. Sorry, A star B equal to E. I apply here an operation called A. That means A star B star A will become E star A, correct? But E star A is nothing but A star A. Anything we can write. Okay, fine. So what I do is, in the next step I write A star B star A equal to E star A is nothing but A star E, because E is commutative over star. So now I can apply left cancellation. We know that left cancellation, correct, holds good for groups. That's why B star A equal to E. So whenever A star B equal to E, B star A equal to E, then A star B equal to B star A. So that's why case number 1, if A star B equal to E, then we proved that it is abelian, correct? So what if A star B not equal to E? We have to try. Okay. So A star B, let's say, not equal to E. Then what are the other possibilities? A star B will have A, B. Let us try A. If A star B equal to A, remember from now onwards, whenever I have like this, I can apply left cancellation and the remaining thing will be E here. Okay. So otherwise again same story, you have to write A star E, then you have to cancel. Okay. So that's why directly I say A star B equal to A, then A I can cancel, then you get B equal to E. So what, sir? See one thing. If B equal to E, then A star B equal to B star A. Why? Because if one of them is identity element, then A star B and B star A will become equal. That is the property of identity element. Oh, that means what? A star B cannot be A. Sir, what if A star B equal to B? Right cancellation holds good. Then A will become identity element. If A becomes identity element, so A star B will become B star A. Why, sir? E star B equal to B star A is E star B equal to B star B. That's fine. That's a problem. So I realize that if A star B equal to E or A or B, automatically A star B is becoming B star A. So I understood, sir. A star B should be a different element than EAB. Let us call that as C. Then, but we know that there are only 3 elements in group. Sir, that means we cannot have C? Yes, we cannot have C. That's why this group is definitely abelian. In all the cases, it is becoming abelian. Now, we'll see this one. If G has 4 elements, it must be abelian. Why we will say? That elements are E, comma, A, comma, B, comma, C, let's say. We have to prove that it is abelian. Why? So if it is not abelian, we go by proof by contradiction. In proof by contradiction, what we do? First we assume that it is wrong. If it is really wrong, there should be some 2 elements, so that some 2 elements, out of them one cannot be E, because E is always commutative, right? So that's why maybe some other 2 elements like A comma B or B comma C, correct, anything. So we assume that 2 elements are A comma B. For these 2 elements, A star B not equal to B star A, then only this statement is wrong. Now I am going to apply proof by contradiction. In proof by contradiction, first I assume it as wrong, but slowly I understand that cannot be wrong. How, sir? You blindly follow. A star B not equal to B star A, let's say. Okay. Now, if A star B not equal to B star A, then what should be A star B? First, what will be the value of A star B? A star B cannot be E, correct? Why? A star B is E, then because we know one thing. If A star B equal to E, then B star A also will become E. Why? I'll show you. Already we have seen that, but I'm repeating it. So A star B equal to E, what you do is, you write like this: A star B star A equal to E star A, correct? Yes. Otherwise, E star A is nothing but A star A. Now A star B star A equal to A star E, left cancellation. Then B star A equal to E. Then A star B equal to B star A. But we know that A star B not equal to B star A. Then A star B cannot be E, correct? Now, similarly B star A cannot be E, same argument. Remember it. Now, then what it's supposed to be? If A star B not equal to E, maybe A star B equal to A. Please recall, our elements are E comma A comma B comma C, correct? Okay. A star B must be A. If A star B equal to A, same story. A star B equal to A, left cancellation. Then B will become E. If B is identity element, automatically one of them in the operation is the identity element, A star B will become B star A. So A star B cannot be A. Similarly, B star A also cannot be A. Same reasoning we can apply. You try it. Now, if you understand this, you also can understand this one. Now, sir, then A star B equal to B, is it possible? No. Why? If A star B equal to B, one of the elements BB will be cancelled, then A will become E. If A becomes C, then A star B will become B star A. So, A star B should not be B. Similarly, B star A should not be B. Now, I ask a question. Forget about C. You know that you have already an element E. You know that you have an element called A, an element called B, correct? Now you are saying that there are 2 elements which are A comma B in the group, so that A star B not equal to B star A. To have this one, sir, why I want to have this one? If you don't have this one, then they should be equal. If they are equal, nothing to prove. That is what this statement says, correct? So definitely there should be 2 elements such a way that A star B not equal to B star A. Don't disturb it. If A star B not equal to B star A, then A star B cannot be, this condition already we proved, this condition already we proved, this condition already proved. Now you have this thing in mind. Sir, why are we doing all these things? Now this is a climax. A star B operation is not producing E, not producing A, not producing B. It must produce something, correct? Then what is supposed to be? So A star B should be something other than EAB. Let us call it as C. Okay, fine. I am happy with that. Similarly, B star A. Then what about B star A? Okay, that is also C, sir. If B star A is C, A star B C, then A star B equal to B star A. We know that A star B equal to not equal to B star A. Then B star A is supposed to be a different element. Then let us call it as something A, B, E, C, D. Then how many elements we will be having? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we cannot have 5 because we have only 4 elements. Then A star B should be equal to B star A. Both should be C. No sir. Let's say A star B and B star A, they are not equal. Still you want to argue? Yes. Then you tell me what should be A star B. E sir, no, we cannot have, already proved. B, no. A, no. Then A star B must be C. Okay, fine. A star B C. Then what about B star A? B star A again C. It cannot be E, cannot be A, cannot be B. And if you take C, then again this condition will become false. To make this condition true, we should have another element. Finally, that's why 4 elements we cannot have. But we have only 4 elements, that is given. Don't contradict that. So definitely if we have 4 elements, it never happens. That means whenever G has 4 elements, it must be abelian, because same thing. Whenever you assume A star B not equal to B star A, you are ending up with 5 elements. Then where is the mistake? We cannot have 5 elements. Then we cannot have this one. So A star B equal to B star A. Okay. See one more example. Suppose every element in the group G is its own inverse. Then it is abelian. What is given is, in a group G, for every element A, what is happening? A star A equal to E. Why? Because every element is its own inverse. That means in the place of A, we can write A inverse, because A equal to A inverse. That is the meaning of every element is its own inverse. So in the place of A, if I write A inverse, A star A inverse equal to E. So remember this one. From now onwards, I can write A star A equal to E. Not only for A, for any element. Now, the thing to be proved is A star B equal to B star A. What I do is, I take A star B, I apply A star B again, because I know something about A star A, correct? So that's why I use this clue, this as clue. So A star B also supposed to be E. Now slowly what we do is, I send this A this side. We know how to do that. Apply A inverse. A inverse star A star B star A star B equal to A inverse star E. See, I applied A inverse to left side of this this entire thing. So here also we have to apply A inverse left side. Value will not change. Now A inverse star A, E. E star B star A star B equal to A inverse star E, A inverse. Now E star anything is that anything, right? So it would be B star A star B equal to A inverse. This time what I do is, I try to cancel this one. So B star A equal to, that means B star A star B star B inverse, then B will be cancelled, equal to, see, because I am applying star B inverse right side, here also we have to apply star in B inverse right side, then value will not change. Why sir? You have X equal to Y. If you apply X star A, that is equal to Y star A, correct? So that's why. So B star A star B star B inverse is E equal to A inverse star B inverse. Don't worry. Slowly you will understand. E star anything is C, A star E, A, right? That's why B star A equal to A inverse star B inverse. But we know that A equal to A inverse. Let me substitute it. B star A equal to A star B inverse is B. So B star A equal to A star B. So that's why whenever every element has its own inverse, automatically that group will become abelian. Okay.